Don't fuck with K-pop fans.
K-pop stans and Twitter replies replying with Fancams.
Wait until K-pop stans start saying stuff like, maybe he would have lived if he stanned Luna.
There are many types of people on the internet. You know, you got the Facebook Karens, Instagram influencers, YouTubers and other content creators, absolute brainlads, and a creepy neckbeard or nice guy in the DMs trying to see your bobs, you know, the list goes on. However, on every social media platform, no matter what one you're on the internet, you're bound to come across some fan pages for things. This is where we meet. Stans. A group of people who support a certain celebrity, artist, etc. to the point of making dedicated accounts for that sole purpose of supporting them, or stanning them. Typically the kinds of people who run these stan accounts are pretty young. Not to say that older people can't make stan accounts for whatever reason, but generally from what I've seen, stan accounts range from the ages of infants to teenagers to people in their mid-20s. Anyone can make a fan account or a stan account for anything. There's no rules on how to run a stan account or what you can make a stan account for. Freedom of speech, baby.
What? What the f-
However, when you hear the phrase stan accounts, there is a certain type that comes to mind. K-pop stan accounts are pretty prominent on the internet, so people tend to find K-pop accounts quite annoying. Having a K-pop profile picture is the new having an anime profile picture. They're on a similar wavelength, I think. You could be in the YouTube comment section of any video, and if anyone who's commented a comment has a BTS profile picture, they're bound to get somebody tilted, because there's a K-pop stan watching the same thing as I am? I cannot be associated with them, so I will write down a mean comment attacking their music preference unprovoked. Ha. That'll show 'em. Dude, you suck. I'd say the reason why K-pop stans get, hate from a lot of people is probably mainly because of the fancams they keep throwing around. You know them. It's those videos that you just can't escape no matter where you are on Twitter. I think one of the main reasons why people find K-pop stan accounts so annoying is because there's just so many of them. And because K-pop has many artists and groups in their industry, there just happens to be so many K-pop related ones. And like I said before, a lot of these stan accounts are run by pretty young people. And I know from experience that when you have a stan account dedicated to a specific person, you want everyone to know just how great that person is. And the easiest way to do that is to spread that J-Hope fancam like a wildfire. Just look at his moves, his clothes, his face, you get the point. I agree, the amount of fancams you see on completely unrelated things are both confusing and draining after a while. I mean, I get that your fave is talented, and I'm not bashing that, but at the same time, who asked? However, if the main reason for just seeing a bunch of fancams all over the place was the only reason why people dislike K-pop stans, this video would probably just end here. Every fandom has a minority of fully toxic people and extremists. It's just an unfortunate fact of life that isn't just related to fandoms. However, with fandoms and stan accounts, and the reason why they're a different case altogether to the old man across the street who has an intense vendetta against minorities, is the fact that a lot of these people causing these problems are most likely kids and quite young teenagers. They're going through their cringe phase. From these people being overprotective about their subjective music taste, to the point of harassing people who don't understand the hype, to spreading fancams at the wrong time saying, if so-and-so stand insert name, artist, whatever here, maybe they wouldn't have been game-ended. Yeah, that's a thing that people actually do. Whether it's a joke or a statement that is completely 1000% serious, it should be at least common sense to type that tweet, look at it before you post it and think, hey, maybe I'll come across like a super scummy human being if I post this, since people are obviously grieving. But apparently not.
Dumb? Are you dumb? Are you dumb?
And while going through your cringe phase isn't an excuse, absolutely not an excuse, for some of the things that people say, the fact that they are going through this phase in their lives means that they'll look back at themselves in a few years' time and want to hit themselves over the head with a frying pan because of all the dumb stuff they used to do and say online. At least we can only hope that they can be that self-aware. I mean, I know I do. And I wasn't even problematic. I was just full cringe. Okay, so that's it, and peace, guys! I don't know what it is about kids and teenagers having really, really strong opinions about how their music taste is the best and no one else matters, and how people who have different music tastes are trash. I used to be like that. You probably used to be like that. Some of you probably are like that right now. It's just a rite of passage, and I don't understand why people get so worked up over something so meaningless and pointless. I guess if I were to take an educated guess on why people are like this, perhaps it's pride, maybe? Perhaps they're proud of their music taste and they kind of convince themselves that their music taste is superior, even though, you know, it's not that deep, it's just music. You know, enjoy what you want to enjoy and let other people enjoy what they want to enjoy. It's not that difficult. You know, people probably equate it to being a part of their personality. And I mean, I get liking a thing to the point of buying merch, just supporting them. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you become that defensive about it, you really have to learn how to be more self-aware. But I guess that kind of comes with age, perhaps, and that's probably why a lot of these people who are problematic are in fact quite young. At least that's my assumption. I can only hope they're young and unself-aware. Because if they're older, then that's probably going to be an issue. Unfortunately, this is one of the reasons why people do not like stan accounts, because they just seem absolutely crazy. When in fact, probably the majority of them are not. The majority of them just want to support their favourite group, artist, whatever, and that's completely fine. But like many things, like all things, the minority has to ruin the fun for everyone. But recently, something happened. The stan accounts actually did something good in the dreaded year that is 2020. Whether you like it or not, stan accounts, especially the K-pop ones, are well known for flooding people's DMs, timelines, whatever, with the infinite amount of fancams that they have for whatever reason. And they're pretty much a household name at this point, at least in the virtual world, because again, there's just so many of them.
There she is! Laura, there's too many of them! Get out of there!
So when the time was right, the community took it upon themselves to use that power and actually be productive with it. I find it pretty wholesome. I mean, the majority of the internet despises K-pop stans, and yet everybody joined forces when it was most needed. These people who run stan accounts for the most part aren't doing anything wrong, they just want to support their fave. Obviously, it's the few bad apples that generally get them scrutinised online, but it's things like this that remind people that stan accounts are, in fact, people, and not whatever this is. In conclusion, stan accounts, not bad, but people can get big mad at the annoying and insensitive ones. Also, stream D2 for clear skin.